this online marketing stuff, but I'm confident that I can learn it if I get set up properly.
For sure. Do you have a ClickFunnels account, or do you have a do you have some type of like landing page or sales page building account?
No, so that's what I was going to ask you, because I could pay to have it like built through you guys, right? If I buy ClickFunnels.
Yeah. So you can actually
Okay.
you can really just use our share funnels, but then yes, you can pay. You essentially can pay a nominal fee, or what I consider a nominal fee, that essentially gets donated to a charity of your choice to some extent. So I kind of let you pick the money. I just take the money and essentially do something nice with it, and kind of let you
Okay.
essentially pick like more or less what you would want to do with that money to some extent, to some guidelines that you pay. And then I mean, but you can just use the share funnels that we have. What's up, Joe? You can just use the share funnels that we have if you want to do ClickFunnels, and that's a pretty simple setup. And most of that, if you just get 1 hour, most of that could be done like live with you, where you can learn something. If you're using a different funnel builder, I could get it done in an hour, but I most likely wouldn't be able to get it done live with you in an hour, because I would assign it to somebody else, because I don't use other funnel builders, and I would just tell them, go figure it out and do it. And then it would most likely take more than 1 hour, but I would just tell them to do it.
So I haven't like invested any further, because I wanted to get the best advice from you and make wise decisions as far as, getting what would help me succeed.
Do you have a funnel builder already right now for anything that you're subscribed to?
No.
Okay.
I was going to ask your opinion on that. I was just going to look at the end of it. Like I said, I'm a closer and I love building relationships. This stuff, I'm going to probably be looking to outsource and learn it over time, but I just need to get to a place where I can close shit for us.
So outside of selling the softwares and making money from the softwares, what else is kind of like your core business that you do?
I was doing some recovery coaching, and then specializing in addiction marketing, but I was a broker, so I didn't really get to learn the lead generation part, because I just brokered the leads, and I did like the call center build out. So I'm more familiar with like softwares, building out call centers and getting software and stuff set up for call centers.
Okay.
Within that specific niche. And then I worked for a publishing company before who, like I sold their services, right? Their marketing services. So they were already pre-built. So in a sense, it's kind of like your software services.
So do you have something that you use for?
Are you there? I'm sorry, I lost you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I'm not sure what happened to my webcam, just like went crazy. But so do you have any type of customer list or anything right now, or some way that you're doing email marketing to people?
I got like 4,000, but so that was the other thing I was going to ask you. I just like to run some campaigns and focus on building a list for like 3 weeks or something. I'm willing to invest in that, because I need to get that up.
Sure, that's what I'm trying to figure out, is what's going to be the best for you. So for example, I use ClickFunnels. All right.
Okay.
Now, I pay $297 a month for ClickFunnels, because I use ClickFunnels and I use Actionetics, because I use them for the autoresponder within everything that happens to ClickFunnels. And then on top of that, I also pay, I think it's like probably like $497 or $997 for SendGrid to be my mail server, because I send out on average, I would say 150,000 emails every week is what I'm sending out on average. So
okay.
So now you can see that those expenses could add up quickly. So that's why I'm trying to ask, like, what is it that you're going to be doing? Like, for example, if you're not going to be emailing if you're not really going to be emailing a large list very
Yeah.
often, then you could just use like a G Suite account, and you could use Zapier. I'll set you up with the Zapier account, and then you could just use Zapier and then send out the emails from Zapier using your G Suite account, because you get like a 2,000 a day limit if you enable billing in your G Suite.
Okay.
So that obviously saves you a lot of money. It will save you the stuff on ClickFunnels side, and it will save you the SendGrid cost, but it's going to require a little bit more setup, because we're going to have to go in and set things up with Zapier.
Yeah.
So if you go the other route with ClickFunnels and you use, ActionEdX as your autoresponder, and then you use like SendGrid or something like that for your SMPT server, that costs a little bit more money, especially, the ClickFunnels, that's going to cost you $297 a month. And then the SendGrid, you can get that for, I think, as little as $47 a month. It just depends on how many emails you're going to send out a month. If you're going to send out less than 100,000 emails a month, I think the $47 a month plan will work for you. If you're going to be sending like a million or so.
If you actually don't take the dedicated IP plan, then SDS is probably a lot cheaper and has the same deliverability. Amazon service.
For sure, SES also is SES is also a little bit more complex to set up. Now, if we're doing it up here, I can obviously have an engineer go in and set all that up.
So this is my thinking. Like, I don't have a product or anything right now, and I wanted to take some time to kind of figure out what I want to do online. I know I wanted to move this way, and I have some coaching experience in a specific niche, but I wanted to broaden that, and I don't have content. So I thought, when I seen this offer, and I don't want to take up a lot of time here, but I thought this is the perfect opportunity to get familiar with being online, but I would really just want to focus on selling these services.
Just selling the software?
Yeah. Like, I would want to get committed to that so I can get experience, and I'm okay with investing. I want to build just like a list and build relationships with people, and then kind of figure out what direction I would like to take. And then as you guys scale and, come up with more software or whatever, then, at that point, maybe I can figure out who my clients are, do you think that's realistic?
The software is small ticket sales. Did you do small ticket or did you do high ticket?
I was just explaining to him, I have experience just brokering leads, so I could, make money that way. I just want to build a list and sell the software for now. And I mean, I want to get comfortable with it, and I'm happy to build a big ticket.
Oh, no. There's a difference between having, selling $100 a month software programs than, selling $5,000 high ticket coaching.
Yeah. So would you guys suggest that I just maybe focus on whipping something up in that sense and using this as an add-on?
Well, what's your list? Do you think the list that you have right now could use your software, or use our software?
I think some of them can. I think I have a list of like 4,000. It's not that big.
Well, have you gotten John's emails? Take those emails and put them in your voice and just send them out and see.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how I would start, to figure out, well, maybe somebody can use it. And if you have one of the problems that I see with this entire group is that a lot of the audience is the same. And if you have the same audience, and you have different little offers in the market, then there's a problem. If your list is in a different area, I would really take John's emails and put them in your voice.
Test it out. That's a good idea.
Tell your story and just test it out. Get the funnel set up so you do have an offer, and you do have something where you can lead people to, so they can buy or opt in, or show some interest, and then just push something out to your list. And ultimately ClickFunnels is not that expensive. It's not the best program, but if you don't have any experience, it is the best program because it just makes it easy.
Really easy to use.
Yeah, see, and I learned by doing, so I figured instead of investing in all these big coaching things, I could just invest in practicing, you know what I mean? Getting these
Yeah.
tools and practicing with them and using the communities for feedback.
Mhm.
So I'm open to getting ClickFunnels
And
to help me build a list. I was just trying to figure out the quickest way to build a list, you know.
well, I can tell you the quickest way to make money in your position is really if you have experience in the coaching area to sell your coaching programs and use the tools that we have in order to,
Okay.
customize your landing stuff.
Mm.
There is a learning curve to selling this small ticket things.
Yeah.
I fight with that too. My ticket size is way bigger.
Yeah, I've been
So
noticing. But it sucks because it's like the value is so amazing, you know what I mean? You want people to have it,
yeah,
you get excited about it. But I see that
yeah,
hang up with a lot of people.
yeah.
See if
Let
it,
me ask you guys this real quick before. So my experience is when it comes to the coaching pieces in recovery, like addiction niche.
Yeah.
I guess one of the reasons why I haven't been so driven to like, do that is because I just don't see people being successful on that with that kind of coaching online.
Well, then you're not looking in the right spots.
Yeah.
Have you followed Russ Ruffino?
Russ Ruffino. Yeah, yeah.
There's
I've
yeah,
seen some of
go
his stuff.
go check that out. He has coaching where he helps coaches to build a business in the craziest of niches. He's got a
Okay.
guy in there that teaches how to do handstands, and the guy makes $1 million a year.
Okay.
And this is not a joke.
Okay.
And addiction coaching is actually something where I think you could find people on Facebook.
That was my concern.
for sure.
That if I needed to just broaden, you know.
And
But yeah, I just want
especially
to
if you
get set
don't
up and start contributing, and building
see
a list,
the
do
the
something.
the issue is often that if you know a lot of technical stuff, you have it so easy to stand in your own way. If you don't, and you just have somebody to show you the basics of it and just do what you're good at, that is often the fastest way to success.
Yeah. I think that's what attracted me here too, is like I noticed there's a lot of people that's good at that stuff, and I know I can get that kind of support, and it's okay to spend money to get it. And let them do what they enjoy, and then I could focus on, like I said, coaching or closing. I even thought about creating a coaching or some kind of business where I'm just like close deals for people.
Well, if I were you, Fatima,
Like for people that don't like to close, who can get the business but just struggle with closing, because that's really what I'm passionate about.
if I were you, the first thing that I would do, which is one of the hardest things, is figure out what you're really passionate about and what it is that you really want to do. What's your end game that you really want to do. All right. So if you want two really different things here, addiction coaching versus just closing for people. All right. If you wanted to do the addiction coaching, right? Like if let's say that was your true passion and that's what you really wanted to pursue, what I would do if I were you or if I was anybody, I would first looking at the partnership opportunity, the thing that I recommend everybody to do. And I think that what ends up happening and kind of what Joe mentioned and that he has a problem with, audiences overlapping is because people listen to half of what I recommend and they don't listen to the whole thing that I recommend. And I think a lot of what he's talking about is the conflict in pricing that there's very low cost offers out there, because what I recommend for people to do is, like, from my perspective, if you're paying $300 bucks a month as an inner circle partner, or if you're paying $500 a month as an inner circle partner, from my perspective, if you do the $1 a day promotion that I put out there, you need 10 people or you need 20 people approximately to break even on your investment. That should, if you have a list of people, if you have, connections on Facebook or connections on LinkedIn, that should be, if you have those audiences, some of those audiences, and you can write words with your fingertips that aren't copy and paste link, then it should be relatively easy for you to go in and get those 10 or 20 people so that you're not stressing out on, this is costing me money and I'm not getting any return on it. All right. Now, if you don't have that mindset, those are just for the people who have that mindset, like, look, I literally don't have the money to pay for this. I need my money back. All right. So if you don't have that mindset, then you're a little bit free to go with not having to go get those 10 or 15 or 20 people on that really low ticket, $30 a month to break even, because you don't have that concern about, okay, I need this money or I'm not going to eat or something like that. All right.
Yeah.
So you figure out which one of those you are. If you are that person that needs the money, needs to see the return, then you go get those 10 or 15 or 20 people so that you can easily break even. Now, that's where a lot of people stop listening and they get that $1 a day, they make 10 sales and they're like, okay, I'll just do this forever. I've got no reason to go in and up my prices, which is pretty dumb. And it causes some issues for people like Joe who are talking about these overlapping audiences. All right.
Yeah.
Go away.
So now, once you get to that point where you're no longer concerned about the monthly fee for your partnership, because to be quite honest, that's one of my biggest concerns that I have in partners is knowing that they're justifying this partnership cost, and I don't have to worry about people dropping off because I rely on the partnership cost to cover the cost to run our company in the meantime. That's kind of how this whole partnership works, right?
Yeah.
So once you figure that out, then you kind of need to know what you're passionate about. If you wanted to go the route of addiction coaching, what I would do is I would have some type of course that would be like from addict to entrepreneur, where you could have a level of your course where you just talk about the daily struggles of an addict and how to overcome that and how to deal with that. And then as that course expands, you can get into how to taking that void that you're missing from that addiction that you used to have and how to fill that with entrepreneurism and starting your own business and teaching people how to find their own passion and run their own business, because that part of your course is a very easy entryway to be able to use any of the softwares as lead magnets to actually get people collect emails into these higher ticket things, because now as these people go into entrepreneurs, they're going to need a lot of these softwares to be able to run their businesses.
I love that concept too, because you're not just targeting people that need help getting better and having that conversation, but they're actually like already better, but wanting to get to the next level. So when you put it that way, I feel more confident in being able to have a successful business,
Well, also
being an addiction
your
coach,
lead
because
your lead generation, if you go to Quinco or any of these local, like these community sponsored rehabilitation centers where addicts go, it's going to be, I think personally, it would be a harder pitch for you to go in and say, hey, look, I want to get leads from your audience. And what I do is I help recovering addicts, because that's what those people also do. And that's what their programs are also about. So they're not really just going to take those people and give them to you. But none of those people deal with entrepreneurism and getting those people now to be business owners and start their own business. So if that was your spin and what you focus on, like, hey, I run, addict to entrepreneur, and I help, addicts bridge the gap and become entrepreneurs and support their own business like they used to support their own, addiction habits. No, those local agencies are not offering those types of services. So you'd most likely be able just to call those people up and have flyers pushed.
get those referrals. Yeah.
You could get leads easy, and then your lead generation would be relatively easy because you just call those people all over. And most of those people would probably love that idea and be like, yeah, well, we don't teach these people how to run businesses. We just teach them how to stop doing crack. Now what?
Yeah. And again, like you said, then at that point, if you can get them there, the software is relevant to them. Like, too. Like if they want to, you know, depending on what business they're going to do. I love it. I love it. You've given me a lot to think about. And just so you know, I'm not worried about my membership. That's kind of why I reached out to you ahead of time, because I wanted to set myself up for success so I wasn't under that pressure, because I really want to learn and get things right so that I can be in for the long game. So I budgeted for a year just to be able to, you know, like I'll be okay for a whole year supporting you. I just want to get this right and be able to contribute, you know, to show my gratitude for the opportunity, but also, you know, I'm excited about it and I wanted to transition online anyway.
For sure.
So for me, I get the best of both worlds, you know, I get the software, I get, you know, community, and I get an opportunity to learn like while practicing, you know, in real time.
Well, usually whenever you come to these meetings, you'll see a lot more faces and a lot more people. There's usually a lot more people, but this meeting was actually canceled because we're technically closed and on vacation. I'm just not a vacationer. So
I saw that you said you'll be out till the 2nd, and I'm like, he's on here every day since. And then I literally was just scrolling through my social media and it's like inner circle meeting in 5 minutes. I was like, what?
Yeah, we weren't technically supposed to have this meeting, but I don't take a lot of time off work, so.
Yeah.
But
So,
usually
yeah,
shows their faces and comes on camera. Glenn's usually shirtless. Michael.
I was kind of laying down, like I said, scrolling, so I didn't put my camera on.
So here we are.
Hello.
Here are the faces. We're real.
Just to give you a heads up, Fatima, these meetings don't have any real general agenda. It's just time for you guys as inner circle meetings, as inner circle partners, to express your concerns, get help, talk to each other, network each other, pitch ideals, talk about what's working, what's not working, what things you would like to see us do that we're not doing, stuff like that. But there's no real agenda that we go through. It's just time for you guys, whatever you guys need.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm still learning and trying to educate myself, but I've just noticed that there's so much support in there, so I was excited about that.
Do you have an idea of what all of the softwares do?
So I have an idea with some of them, because they're similar to other softwares that we used, you know, when I built out the call centers, but there's a lot of them that I don't know. So that's one of the things I was going to try to set up, get more information on that, get set up so I could start just messing around, you know.
For sure. If you have a good idea what all the softwares do and who would be the users of them, then it will be relatively easy for you to go in and query your audience and find out who in your audience could use what type of software, and then write content targeted to those type of people to let them know that, hey, you have these things available at whatever price that you're going to put them at, and whatever other services you want to offer with them, to start gathering people who are interested and taking you up on your offer.
Okay.
I personally don't recommend going through the process of building your own funnels and getting all that set up and setting up your automations and taking all that time before you have a list of people who are saying, yeah, I want to buy that. That way, as soon as you, because to me, and I've done this with pretty much all the funnels that I've built on ClickFunnels. To me, if I were to go take all the time and build a funnel, set up all these automations and get everything where, you know, okay, hey, it's right, it's perfect.
Yeah.
One, I'm never going to get to that perfection anyways. And two, after I get there, every person, it's just human psychology, is going to want some instant results. And if they see, okay, now I've spent a week doing this or 2 days doing this, and now a day or two goes by and you haven't seen any results, or a week goes by and you haven't seen any results, you begin to get really demotivated, right? And that starts to break you down. As opposed to if you first go out and query your network and you start building up anticipation and you start having people say, yeah, I'm interested in this, and they're waiting for you to build that funnel. They're on a waiting list, waiting for that link to come. Then you go through and take the time and build it out. And then you go give those people that link. And, you know, within 30 minutes of people getting that link, they go and make a purchase, or within a day of getting that link, they go in and make a purchase. Your whole psychology changes, because now you have so much motivation where you're like, okay, I can do this again for the next one. I can do this again. So it's just all about motivation versus demotivation. I do that with my funnels, because it's the same thing to me. If I go in and take the time to go in and build something, and then no one's actually interested in it, I just wasted time, and then I don't feel really good about it. It's kind of upsetting. So.
Yeah, it kind of keeps you accountable too. Like if you're a person that's going to take too much time, you know, if you've got people waiting, you're more motivated to get the crap done quicker, you know, too.
For sure.
But yeah, so that's maybe I'll work on that this week. I've seen a couple of people just randomly in my network asking about software, which I thought was ironic. So I sent a message to set up a conversation with one. It was just a random comment that I went through on LinkedIn, or a post. I was reading the comments, and she was saying something about software. So I was going to talk to her a little bit. Maybe I can get like her and a couple other people and just see what they're wanting. I was trying to get familiar with the softwares though, all of them first. Because like the text in bulk, I don't really understand that fully.
There's a lot going on in that.
Yeah. But as a lead broker and someone who bought leads for facilities before, like, you know, you do learn a little bit of the language. Like I have a good idea, but like I wouldn't know how to operate it. Like I bought services coming from these systems before, or leads that, you know, because they give you options. Like you can buy, you know, like fresh leads with age leads, you know, fresh leads, or these text leads that you have to respond to. So as a consumer, I've been able to choose, you know, certain kinds of leads with different types of prices that, you know, come from these different softwares. But I just don't fully understand how it, you know, the whole like how it starts from beginning to ending to customer, like what that process looks like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I want to say text in bulk is relatively easy to understand. That's what I like to say, but then again, it did all come out of my brain. So to me, you know, I kind of
right.
It's relatively intuitive and simple. Some other people find it daunting because there's so much in there. But if you just take it little by little, it's really not that complex. So
yeah, I think it's fairly simple, but you got to let yourself understand it too. It's not like you need to understand it now. You know,
okay.
There's actually, after I set up my funnel, I went and built the ClickFunnels membership area, and I just thought, okay, I think John's way of collecting these trainings is so confusing, so I'm going to collect them the way I think it's less confusing. So while I was collecting all these trainings, I noticed that I missed a lot of them, you know, and now I understand why people say there is not enough training. It's because they don't sort it in the way that they understand it. And, you know, while I was collecting I'm like, okay, there is training on virtually everything, and it's not hours long. It's like 10, 15 minutes. And I think you need to do that. You need, you know, log into all your software accounts, look at the training that you have there, and then just go on YouTube and find a couple of overviews. You know, sometimes you need to have a little bit of an overview. You know, if you go onto my funnel, I actually took one of John's 30-minute videos where he runs through all the softwares in 30 minutes. You should watch that. You know, so you get an idea. Is that on
your social media page, on your group, or
it's
on your?
No, it's at demandplan.com/DAD. You know, $1 a day. There's that video. Facebook actually blocked the video that I had on my social media page because, you know, I don't know why. I have a review right now. They don't want
I
me
think
to.
I've seen that too. So that's the one.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and
it's so funny. I'll go to ask a question and I'll be in the video sections, and then I'll start playing a video, and then he'll answer it right there. So I never have to ask.
And that, that overview, those 30 minutes, that gives you a pretty good overview of what the software does and what it's intended to do. And there's some excitement there too. It's John's baby, so he is a little bit too excited about some parts of it. you know, I I see that. We're all having our own biases.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody wants to have something work in a certain way, but you just need to understand it. You really, you can't sell this stuff unless you understand what it's doing, because people want to come back to you to answer a question. So you have to be able to answer a question, but you're going to answer that question different than I am or than John is, because you don't have the technical background. So you actually have a benefit, because you have to figure out, what does this do for you, instead of how does it do it,
Yeah.
and that's
Understanding it
that's
is very beneficial to you.
yeah.
I have these guys here, my partners. They bring
Mhm.
users in, they bring users into the platform, and they just dump. They bring users in at $1 a day, dump those users off into the software, and guess what? They don't know how to use the software. Guess what? They contact me, pay me $100 an hour. Like, I just live streamed a video to the Inner Circle group like an hour ago. A dude paid me $100 to literally show him how to click 3 buttons. Now, if you knew how to
Yeah.
do that, and you actually did all the branding with your users and got them into the platform, and you did stuff like Joe does, which is you go in and provide your own little content area so that now they're branded to you and they look at you as authority. Trust me, they're going to go right to you, and then they'll pay you that $100 an hour to go in and click buttons for them. And so you can imagine that dude that just dumped that guy into the software for $30 a month. He just paid me for 1 hour, 3 months worth of his fees, most likely because his partner don't know how to. The dude that brought him in didn't take any time, doesn't know how to use the software, didn't take time to learn the software, and couldn't answer a question for him. So
Yeah, I think that's where my mind was going. I was thinking I couldn't have chosen a better opportunity, to come in to something like this and be able to like teach myself. And then I guess that's what I was thinking too, is I could offer coaching from that perspective. If I could learn it, then I could offer additional services, teaching them how to like use it and set it up, and just to get started, until I could figure out what I wanted to do and apply it more so to whatever it is I'm going to do. We have a consulting business. Like I said, it's very niche, and we broker leads, it's all niche, and, I can do that forever, but I was just trying to do something different on my own. And I want to learn this, I want to learn how to, be relevant online, and build my own
Well,
audience.
what you can do with this is you can create the leads. There was a couple of videos that John did where he just demoed what and how to get the leads, and you can immediately see how to use a combination of the programs. For example, if you
Yeah.
if you have a bunch of leads that you target and you send them messages and you have to call everybody, you're going to be so frustrated all day. But if you send them messages and you have a call to action that leads them to a landing page where there is a script on there, and when they land on that page, they watch your video, and all of a sudden their phone rings and you're on the phone, you can imagine how much different that is for
That
you.
call is going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, there's tools out there that you can go and check out. It's Call Trip or Speak to Lead. They do all of that, but those are tools that are outrageously expensive compared to the combination of Text in Bulk and Magic Zap. And so you can set that up, and you can have your staff create leads that way. And as long as you're not in medical, which I can't do this in medical, but you can have an offer, and while somebody watches a video, their phone rings, your phone rings, you talk to them. And if they're not interested, then you don't ever talk to them.
Yeah, dump them out.
And you can find those with RoboContact, you can find them with Text in Bulk, You set up your landing pages with Magic Zap, and basically when they show up, it can be personalized landing page. And while they watch the 5-minute video, Zapier has got enough time to inform you that they're on the page, and you just talk to them because they're watching it. And I can tell you from my own experience in in the legal market, if you have somebody watching a video about a will that you're going to put up for them, and all of a sudden the phone rings and the lawyer's on the phone, is asked, do you have questions? You immediately get into a conversation of, well, do you want to come in for a free consult? It's like,
Yeah.
and so you can broker those leads. You can actually set that up for a lawyer. When you look at that, you can set that up for a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
And
so much. And I feel like once
and
I
it's,
understand how all the
and
software works, I'll have a better vision, I'll be able to like plan better.
there's a feature in text in bulk also. It's called Whisper, meaning text in bulk can actually tell you, okay, he's on that landing page right now. So before you actually answer the call, it tells you what the guy's doing. So you don't even need to know who it is. It says, John is right now looking at your video about making wills. And you pick up the phone and you say, hey, John, I saw you were looking at my video about making wills. And stuff like that is just amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I have partners and community members, Fatima, and all they do is go to Fiverr and they list lead list. That's it. They just say, hey, I'll get you a targeted list of B2B leads in any location and any niche for 100 leads for $10 or $20 or stuff like that, and then they'll just take orders. So people just say, hey, I want them in this location for dentists, so they literally just go into RoboContact, run a search, download the file, deliver the file, and they make money all day doing that. And all they do is use the software to generate leads for other people. That's it.
Yeah, I was curious about that. That's amazing. And they actually buy them from there, huh?
Yep.
Because I've seen lead generators on there. And when I saw that software, I was wondering, because you get everything, right? Their name, their address, their number, sometimes their website from that tool.
If you use RoboContact, yeah, you get everything. You get their business name, you get their business name, their address, their website, their phone number, their social profiles, whether they have any remarketing pixels installed on their website, if they have SSL certificates installed on their website, and pretty soon you'll be getting more personalized information as far as the people who work for that company, what their names are, what their social profiles are, and then a whole bunch of consumer expenditure data, like if they're married or single or have parents, if they own houses, how much their income level is, education level, stuff like that.
So I got my logins. I just need to get an API, right? And then I should be able to go in and
you'll just want to create your API for Google to use RoboContact, correct?
Okay. Now, is there an expense with that API?
If you go outside of the daily quota that's allotted to you by Google, yes. If you're doing normal use of the software, that should never happen. But then again, no offense if you're one of these people that do that, but there are some idiots in the world, and they think that the best approach to marketing or selling their services is to contact 20,000 people a day because their messaging sucks so bad that that's how many people it takes for them to get 2 or 3 clients. So if you're one of those idiots, then yes, it's going to cost you money because you're going to consume that free limit that Google gives you every day.
Yeah, I think I seen you do a live on that. You were like, it's not the number of people, it's your messaging. And I remember that stood out to me. Was it a live or a video? Yeah, you were like.
I prefix everything with I'm not a marketer, so people just tune me out whenever I talk about that stuff.
Yeah. No, I got it. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. 20,000 people. Yeah, you're probably doing something wrong. Okay.
Well, it's definitely not in the quantity. I mean, if you gotta contact 500 people a day and you're not getting any responses or any clients from that, then you need to stop
Something's
what
wrong.
you're doing. You need to figure out your messaging. You need to reposition yourself and go back to
Yeah.
the drawing board, because those 500 people that you're contacting, that's once you're going to do that. And if they don't bite that first time, they're not going to bite the second, third, or fourth time. So you're just wasting potential people who could be buying your stuff until you actually fix your messaging. But a lot of
Yeah.
people, they don't have that time and patience. So they just think that, well, I need to contact more people. I contacted 50 and I didn't get one response, so I need to contact more people. I don't agree with that, but that's just me. I use the tools to make over $2 million in revenue, all through cold email, and I never
Yeah.
I never went in and contacted more than 50 people a day, because let's say I do have a good message and my message bangs ass, and all those 50 people now want to contact me back and have a conversation with me. I can't talk to 50 people at once. There's just no way. So all
Yeah.
those people are now going to be wasted, because they're going to get impatient and they're going to be like, you know what, this dude can't even service me. He can't even answer my questions. So to me,
Yeah, it's just a good strategy in general. Yeah, but I could see how people, when their life depends on it, how they'll just keep going after more and more and more and not really take time to figure out. I guess that's a luxury, though. You have time to do things right if you're not, if your dinner doesn't depend on it,
all right. So to me, it's just a mindset, Fatima. To me,
Yeah.
if your life depends on it, that's when you need to make time to do it right, because if not, you're gonna die. So that's the number one time that you need to stop and try to
Yeah.
get that pressure out of your head and focus on doing it right, because if not, you're just going to
You're not going to eat.
you're going to not see any success from what you're doing, and your life is depending on it, and you're gonna just sink to the bottom. You're gonna freak out. So
Yeah.
but that's just all mindset. You can't really teach that to people. You can tell it to them, and then they can just either listen or not listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm super excited.
Cool. Hey, Maseo. Hey, Shelly.
So
Maseo's
let me
driving,
ask.
by the way.
Let me ask.
Huh?
Let me ask you a question. I don't have much time to hang around today, but why do you think nobody has jumped on that thing about the restaurant that I described in the inner circle, John?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I think maybe they're a little bit confused on maybe what's going to go into it. But to be honest, I don't know. I can't really tell you why they haven't jumped on that.
Joe, I'm interested. I'm interested in jumping on that, and I know you've got. It sounded like you've got about half the interest you're looking at.
Well, my question is just that, it doesn't look like even my video got watched a lot. It's a Loom, so I see how many people watched the video. So I haven't even seen many looking at it. But my feel right now is that people are so digitally biased that they don't understand what type of opportunity this is. The reason I even got the idea is, Will Riley a little while back posted this link to something that he'd written in 2012, and so I looked at that. It made sense, but I never put the numbers together. For me, this is a simple service that you can explain in 2 minutes, and that is also a simple thing to prototype right now, and it's $1 million potential. So I don't understand why I don't see everybody jumping on this. And it's, and I don't want to go to John and explain, okay, I want this piece of software here, I want to do this, unless I have some buy-in from others. And the only reason I need a dumbed down version of that software is because I can see this scaling to thousands of restaurants. And Holland and I just talked this morning, and he described something that he had, and he had something, in the days of taxes, just in New York, and they had 500 restaurants just in New York. So
No,
when you look at,
I think it's got
when you
huge
look
potential.
at,
I think part of the problem right now is people are distracted by the holiday and the year end. I mean, look at the attendance here tonight, just as an example. So,
but
I wouldn't.
if you run the numbers on that, just let's say we're not better than Harlan is. Let's say we're worse, and we only get 200 restaurants at $200 a piece. That's, do the calculations what that is, and
Yeah.
let's say you offer a little bit of an upsell, that you even add the list that you collected to some Facebook audiences, and you just double the price to 400. That's $1 million proposition just in New York City.
Sure.
And if you then
And
take
it's not
10
going to
cities
take
in the
that long to
United
onboard
States,
those people.
this is a dumbed down piece of software. Text in bulk basically has there's one feature that I think it doesn't have, but the problem is just that it's too complex for a restaurant owner. So somehow it needs to be made a little bit easier. But I just want the imagination to flow there. This is $1 million a month idea, that will run.
Well, I think the restaurant owner, having been one myself, I think they just need it all set up. Like you say, it needs to be plug and play. It needs to be all set up for them. And they're going to pay for that convenience. And that's where all the hand holding comes in. And I think that might be one of the things that is intimidating people getting involved in this proposition, is that if you can explain to them that it's going to be totally plug and play, and that we're going to jump through the technical hoops for them, I think both the partners will get it, and the end customer. I
have no problem to explaining that to the restaurant owners. My problem with this is that for me, this is a side hustle, and I realized literally, I copied this post from this, what is it, Rohan or something like that, into the inner circle. Read that. He had a simple piece of software, and I mean a $5,000 piece of software, and he went to 1.7 million bucks in a year. And that's even complexer than this has to be. And
really, no, I appreciate that, and I certainly love the simplicity. But again, I think what we should do is bundle up the people who are interested, see how many people we've got serious interest from, and decide how much it's going to take to get it done with the people who, are sensible enough to see the potential. And, this is along the lines of what I was thinking about talking about with the VAs that John was talking about setting up. But like you said, that's going to take time, and you could get this done in short order with a little cash. And, I think the holiday.
My question there is, if I don't get enough interest in the inner circle, why don't I just go out there and do it myself?
Well, there's that, yeah.
And that's my question there, because this is, I think, from my perspective, this is why I think everybody got in, right? You have a market where you have an idea, then you see there's an opportunity, and then you have a kick-ass software team that can make it happen. And I can see that John probably is not happy with a piece of software like that, because it's a dumb piece of software. It's nothing, nothing sophisticated. It's even dumbing down text in bulk, but I see this as, this is an 8-figure opportunity, easy. And,
I agree.
It solves a problem in the market, I've done advertising since 2003. There's so many displaced advertising salespeople that, used to make like $3,000 a month. If every one of those gets on a full commission position and just manages 50 restaurants for you in just a small area, they have made up their own income. They can make $30,000 a month selling this for you, onboarding them if it's dumbed down, and you can roll this out throughout the United States. There's 226 areas like New York City where you can have 500 restaurants. Just do the calculation. You know, if you
So
do
No,
this
I
fast.
hear you. Like I said,
So I
let's
missed your post. What where were we talking about? I missed that post, and I can go back and watch it. But you said it could be explained in 2 minutes. What
Well,
are we talking
you
about?
know what it is basically what the restaurant. You know, the reason why I think it works is because the restaurant owner doesn't have to do much. They print out a sheet of paper that says text coupon to phone number and laminate that and stick it on the cash register. And they print out a second piece of paper that they put in the bill folds that they transport out to the customer. And it says also text coupon to phone number to get $5 off. And they collect the list. And they have that list in a software, and they have two offers on in that software. One says, for example, $10 off for two tonight. The other says 25% off your ticket the next time you come in. And then what they do is their restaurant is empty, and once a week they're allowed to shoot out one of these promotions, and they text a password to phone number, and that password is tied to the promotion that gets sent out the next day. When that thing is valid, their place is full. And all it costs them is to print out the signs and to pay the bill. And this is something that can fill up a restaurant. It, you know, and the way you can do this is basically you go out and demo it. You know, you have somebody out there that goes and just shows it to them. And you know what the interesting part is? The one that doesn't buy now is on a list that you can put into Facebook and Google and retarget them. And so what you have is something that is dead simple for a salesperson to sell, that is dead simple to explain on a landing page, where you can send RoboContact out, find restaurants in Detroit, explain something that gets them to click. They watch the 2-minute video, sign up for a free trial for a month, and the first time that promotion goes out, they want to sign it up. Now, these are not fleeting digital marketers. These are real business owners that will see the benefit the first time that thing goes out, and you have them for years. There's a service out there, you know, a really dumbed down version of a website builder, you know, a 2006 version of ClickFunnels. I bought into that for $500. I have 3 clients on it, and they have been on it since 2006. I have forgotten about it, and they still pay me because they're local business owners, and they just pay every month, just like that, you know. And that's my imagination behind this, is once you have these guys on there, is you have them. And just imagine you had a pizza place on it. Now, the pizza place owner says, yeah, this doesn't really work. But he has built 500 people on the list. So what happens when you go to the next pizza place in town? The next promotion that goes out, everybody that got coupons from that pizza place now gets coupons from the others. Guess where they're going? So, you know, all of this is like, it is something that feeds on itself, and it works right now. And, you know, I can tell you that text marketing that way, you can even put all the TCPA rules out front, because these people want their $5 coupon off. If you
Yeah,
have kids eat free night or something like that, you know, and
I think
it's
that's
so
a.
dirt.
I think
This
that's a
is
great idea, man. So
this is so
what are
dirt
you
cheap.
asking for? What are you
Well,
asking for inner circle members to do? Or what are you trying to get
well, what
from
I
them?
want is I want to see if, you know, it's a ridiculous amount of money for this. You know, I know that that explainer video, that 2-minute explainer video with script writing and actors. You know, I actually posted an example on there for a bidet. It cost me probably $1,200, and there is some of my time in it. And basically, if I get 20 guys to say yes, it's like $3,000 that I have to work with. And I just want to see if I can, with the little bit amount of money, somebody to invest into it. And if they don't, to me, that just is, you know, to give you an example, is if I sell my services to plastic surgeons and I don't ask money up front, it fails. You know, it just plainly fails. My experience is that if there is no investment into it, where somebody says, yeah, you know, I'm going to trust in this, I'm going to look at that, I'm going to be on it, it just fails. And, you know, with having this, with having less than what I thought the response should be, you know, I'm just going to leave it on there for another couple of weeks. But, you know, unless I get response from the inner circle, I don't see why I would take an opportunity like that and just feed it into a bunch of partners that don't want to go and do it.
So how much are you looking for?
$150.
That's at 30
basically
people.
Yeah, it's like, you know, that's it. You know, that's it. Yeah, it's like, it's no money.
And
what does
that do? That buys the software, or
basically, no. You know, what I would want it to be is that there's 20 people that are interested in pushing this so that we can just prototype it. I already have a tool that can prototype this. You know, ultimately, I would like this to be a tier 5 software that is so dead simple to use that it can be totally automated. That you can have the business owner and the dumbed down salespeople onboard themselves with a little bit support from behind it, and basically have a service that you can sell for $200 a month, and they just stay on it forever. And you know, the problem with text in bulk is that it is too technical for anybody in that industry to use. And it is also too technical for any one of the old sales guys to use. And so what I think it needs to be, it's something simple. But, you know, for prototyping, I can use another tool right now. And I can show proof of concept. And I think we need to do it that way. We need to have proof of concept before we go and take the 35 engineers in tier 5 and make them work on anything. You know, we could waste a ton of time selling or building software that nobody wants. And I don't want that. I don't want to go to John and say, John, I want you to build this. And it's just a pie in the sky idea. You know, I want to be able to have people that say, yeah, let's try this. Then we prototype it. Then we go out and try it. We sell something that is not necessarily perfect. And then we go back and say, okay, we can sell this in 3 towns across the United States, and we have some revenue. Let's make a tool so we can scale this. That's, you know, for me, that is the reason why this partnership should be here. You know, there's 100 people in it. 100 people can find an idea like this, and then we figure out a way how to prototype this. Then we have a proof of concept, and we go to the 35 engineers, they build it, and we scale it. That's, you know, that's what I thought that this partnership was about. You know, I don't want to sit here and have John come up with all kinds of cool ideas and then build softwares and then us go out and try to sell it or something like that. What I think is we have a bunch of people in here. Everybody can have an idea. Everybody can come with this idea, present it. We figure out a way how to make it work, and then everybody benefits from it. So that's basically my pitch there.
I think it's a good idea. So I'm just trying to explain it or understand what you were getting at. So the software is not developed yet.
Yeah, so
we're trying to get the tier 5 development team to develop it, right?
That's the that has to be the marketing approach. You can't take a piece of idea that you have and just make the engineers work on it, and then you can't sell it. you somehow need to figure out a way how to prototype it and have and validate it by selling it. You know, people saying, well, yeah, I want that is not good enough. People saying, yeah, here's my money, that's good enough. And then you need to replicate it. And if you can replicate it a little bit, then you can go back and build it. Otherwise, you're going to thread and sand all the time. You're not going to grow a company to $1 billion by doing it that way. You know, you need to have a proof of concept before you start investing engineering time.
Huge opportunity cost doing it the other way. The way you're suggesting, Joe, is the best way to do it, because otherwise, although from the tier 5 side, we don't have a huge physical cost. The opportune cost is huge there by going in and taking developer resources and putting them on something that has a small physical cost but a huge opportune cost, because they should be working on something else, and now they're switched to a validated ideal that we don't even know if someone's actually going to buy, or any of the partners. So what Joe's essentially trying to do is get people to have skin in the game to create the marketing materials that are needed to go pitch it to the restaurants, create a working prototype that if restaurants will buy this, that a prototype, there's a path to create those prototypes to get them actually using the thing, until now that we have sales and we see, okay, the people are buying this. Now we switch the engineers to go in and actually build out a unique software based on the text and bulk base that services just that specific niche, to get rid of that prototyping phase that has been set up somewhere else. And the whole reason that he's looking for the partners to make the monetary investment is so that, one, he doesn't have to obviously bear it out of his entire pocket to come up with those marketing things to go and make the pitches. And two, because those people that have actually put some skin in the game are most likely, once those materials are available, going to go out there and hustle and try to get a couple of restaurants on board to make their money back and make future money, which will just validate the sales ideal that said, yes, let's take 3 engineers and put them for, a month and make a dumbed down version of text and bulk that does exactly this, and this, just like that.
Yeah, that's the only way I think this will ever work, is you need to have proof of concept before you spend significant engineering time.
For sure.
And also you got to see this, and it's hard for an engineer to grasp this, but whatever the software is, it doesn't matter. What it is a software works if it solves a problem. And if it doesn't solve a problem, it can be the coolest piece of software. It's just going to sit in the corner and not sell. And so what we need to look at is, we need to find a problem that we're solving, and then we got to see, okay, how can our engineers get to the point where we have a piece that we can have fast and roll out? Because, once somebody sees, okay, this is happening, they're going to put their engineers on it. And so you got to be careful that you're not the pioneer out there with the arrow in the back, but that you're the settler. The pioneers were all the heroes, but they were killed because they had the arrow in the back, and the settlers came and had the benefit of it. So what you need to do is, you need to prototype this in a way that you can settle this. And then you got to go and hit it. And if I don't have enough people that want to do this, we can't hit it. There needs to be more than just me pushing it.
So when was this explained to the inner circle? Was it in a past meeting or something?
Yeah, there was a post in the group. I posted a video in there.
I seen the video, but I didn't totally understand what the video was about. But
there's also another post in there of a guy who actually did this with just the piece of software to schedule cleaning services. That actually got me to the point where I said, this is actually a piece of software that's probably not very expensive to develop, but I don't want engineering time on it unless I can prove that it actually sells. This is an idea, but You know, it needs to sell. You know, ideas are a dime a dozen. You know, any good marketer has 3 ideas every day.
Yeah, I'm in. If there's enough buy-in from everybody, I'm in. So I don't know how you keeping track of everybody, but
It's in the group. It's, you know, I just want everybody that wants in to say I'm in, and then I'll count down. There are still, I think, 12 people or so to go.
Yeah, Joe, I think it's a good idea. But I've been traveling overseas and I saw it a week or so ago, but the text feature doesn't work with Twilio numbers where I'm from in New Zealand. So, you know, I'd have to be pitching it online to
Well,
restaurants.
that's one thing that I also have to say is when you look at, you know, if you're in here so you can get something going in your local market and figure something out for your local market, but you know, taking something like text in bulk and making it work in Timbuktu, you know, that's going to cost a lot of time to do that. If you look at where is all the economic strength, it's like 80% of the economic strength is distributed throughout 5 countries. And if you look at, you know, let's say I was born in Luxembourg, you know, and I say, well, you know, text and bulk needs to work in Luxembourg. That's the, you know, that's the totally wrong approach to it. You know, I'd rather have text and bulk work in in the U.S. because the potential of selling it in the U.S. is so much larger.
Oh yeah, I get you
And
on that. I mean, I've already sold one. I'm on holiday over here, so
yeah,
I sold it for $200 a month, just to
and that's,
extended
you know,
family member.
and
So
and that's,
but
you know, when you look at the whole idea, to me, it's not that, you know, yeah, you know, it would be great if the existing pieces of software could cover my investment. Yes, you know, that would be great. But on the other hand, I would like to look at the path forward, because right now, the way I see it, and that's why I said today I don't really like these agency account ideas, because, you know, you get the partners into a position where they can be undercut. And I'm fine with all of that idea behind it, as long as we have a path forward where every one of the inner circle partners understands this is where we're going and this is where the money acquisition comes from. You know, we can't just have ideas about customer acquisition products and not have money acquisition products. And to me, a product like this with the restaurant, that is a very narrow niche. That is a problem that needs to be solved. And it's a problem that needs to be solved multiple times. You know, the way I saw this, and if you watch my video, there is actually an example of this in there. This is Logan's Roadhouse, and they're
yeah,
blasting,
I was
you
watching
know,
it today even. So
yeah, they're
um,
blasting this postcard out in the neighborhood. And so my wife comes home and says, I was at Applebee's, and at Applebee's they have like coupons in the billfolds now. And the reason for this is because Logan's did this, they suck out all the business out of the market, so the other restaurants sit there and they think, what the heck are we doing now? So they counter this. But the only ones able to counter it with something similar are the big guys. And the small guys are sitting there and they're thinking, okay, Logan's just invested 10 grand for one shot. Well, the local pizza place can't do that. The local pizza place, you know, if you go there and you say it's $200 a month, they say that's dirt cheap, because their experience is there's a sales guy coming here wanting me to send coupons, and they want $1,500, $3,000, $4,000 to do
Yeah.
this. And you come there with an offer that is, I don't know, $200, $300 a month, depending on what the number size is. And they think this is dirt cheap. I mean, this is like a no-brainer sale to them, because all the other offers are all 4 figures and they're a one-shot. And when you look at that, let's say you sell a $400 service to them, it's $5,000 a year, and the other guy is showing up, they want $5,000 one shot. and you come and you say, you have 52 shots. You can shoot every week, and you can do it by just texting a password, and you can update your offer once a month or something like that. It's dead simple, it's dead cheap, and it holds them in place. So for me, that's the type of thing where we can acquire money with. And then, after talking with Harlan this morning, he said, like, I had 500 in New York City alone. Just imagine that. There's 226 large metropolitan areas times 500. This one single dumbed down piece of software on a landing page with an explainer video with just, maybe 226 former newspaper salespeople that are used to walk into restaurants, could be an 8-figure opportunity for us.
Totally.
Just one little piece of software. And when I look at it, it probably would take 6-man months to do it. To get the engineers in there, and if you were confident that you'd sell it quick, John could take 6 engineers and have it built in a month, and you could start scaling and surprise everybody that you're in the market. And the nice thing about it is these guys are non-technical. They would have no idea how to replace it. And to anybody looking from the outside that doesn't have this mindset, it looks like it's not worth it because it's just $300 a month. They don't look at the calculation. Okay, what happens if I roll it out throughout the United States, throughout, in every market? And this is just the 226 large metropolitan areas. There's thousands of towns where you can do it. There's a company that you can look at that has done something similar. They've been in the market for 4 years. The company's called Co-Construct. Actually, what they did is they built a software where local construction companies can collect ideas with homeowners and how to build stuff. And the guy's name is Donnie Wyatt. They're on the Inc. 500 list for 3 years now, with just simple piece of software and a single landing page. Just go to coconstruct.com and look at it.
No, you're right. I think it's true. It's just it doesn't fit.
That's and right now that's something that that is talked about in that market, about one of the biggest acquisitions of 2019. He's probably going to sell his company for $100 million.
Yeah, I hear you on all that. It's just it doesn't suit where I'm at. So,
well, one, to say a couple things, Andrew. You can send text messages and receive text messages in New Zealand from Twilio. What you can't do, however, is you cannot get a local New Zealand phone number to send out those text messages. You would have to use a U.S. or phone number, which would probably not have near as good as results as obviously a local number.
Yeah, that's the thing. People just won't text it. They think they're paying all kinds of fees, or some providers might not even let. Some phones won't text out on their plan they're on. So, but yeah, there's opportunity there. I just probably going to concentrate on working. I sold one yesterday, and I'll work on that niche. I still want to work the US, but if it works for this guy, he knows he can be like a case study, and I can repeat the same thing somewhere where in another state where he's not worried about the competition. But you could use, like, if you train someone in, because if you try and explain all the features of text in bulk, I mean, you're just sitting there for an hour and people's eyes just glaze over. You just need to ask them what's the main problem they have. getting leads or whatever, or communicating leads. And if text and bulk will solve that one big problem, just sell them on that, and then this other things can be leveraged later once they've got that sorted. Yeah, so that's kind of, they weren't really interested. They just really wanted the one thing it could do, and we're excited about it. And
one thing that Fatima probably can tell you what's important in closing is that you can't sell the bridge. You always got to sell the destination. So
yeah, the
don't
benefit.
explain the features. I think that's the biggest problem that people have is, when they can't sell, is you need to explain the benefits and how it gets people out of their pain, and not, what kind of cool features it all has.
Yeah, it's tempting to do that. It's you got to ask questions and find that pain, and that takes time, and that takes, in some ways, sitting down with people locally, which I can't, with the whole text issue is sort of, and I just had relationships with the people in the niche that I got into, and I'm kind of want to go for that
also
first.
have a
I don't
funny
know any
accent.
restaurant people, so
just like I do, I can start talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger if I need to. But anyhow, I gotta go. So,
Hey Joe, thanks for all the feedback.
No problem.
Yeah, I think you
And
just
I'll
need
go
to be
check
a
it out.
bit more patient. People are busy and traveling and everything, and
Yeah, I wasn't born with patience.
no.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm in. I mean, I'll be in. I'll go look at it later, or I can go look at it and say I'm in if you need me to do that. This is Fatima.
Nah, I don't need anybody to say it verbally. I need it in writing.
I'll give you a card.
Germans like to have everything in writing.
Tell me where to pay. I'm good to go. But yeah, I'll go in there.
I don't want any
it.
money
No
unless everybody that I want is in it. Then I'll give you a link there where you can pay. We can test invoicing you that way too.
Yeah, let me practice it using it.
How many people did you get to commit ultimately?
Right now, I think
there's
eight or nine. I haven't.
That's not bad.
And you were looking for 20, was it?
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if those 8 or 9 people would be willing to go 300, and we'll just call it. We'll find one more person and be done.
I want a chunk of people to push it.
Yeah, it's not about that initial money. It's about having enough people who are going to go out there and be able to quickly prove a concept enough to bring on clients that it merits going in to take engineers who are working on one thing and say, hey, stop that shit, go work on this other thing and build this other thing, because we've already proved the concept and we already know once we have this other thing, then we can go in and actually get more people to use this and sell this. Is really
no, I get that, but 10 motivated people can do just as much as 20 semi-motivated people. Just a suggestion. It's your rodeo.
It could be $1,000. It doesn't matter. This is
I understand.
Isn't about the money, because if you don't understand that $1 million idea is worth more than $1,000 if you actually start doing it, it's not the money. I want.
No, I get that. I'm interested in the speed to market. I mean, you put your finger on it when we chatted about it briefly. It's about getting it done. And, if people don't have the sense to see what a solid idea it is and take it where it needs to go, I've been in the restaurant business. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, just a thought to get her done. But I hear what you're saying. You want to have a decent little group behind you to make it a strong concept and make it move forward properly.
Okay, I got to go. So have fun talking,
thanks,
guys.
Joe. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See you, Joe.
Yeah, me too.
Right, Joe.
Everyone's at the table. So
Thank you.
cheers, everyone.
So what about the rest of you guys and girls? What's going on, Lance?
like I'm a little under the weather, so I'm just kind of watching.
That's okay. I've got about probably 20 more minutes that I can stay here. Then I've got a partnership presentation where I'm going to try to get a couple more of the partners that I need to fund our office expansion. And that starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that's in about 40 minutes. And my wife is laying in here in bed sick, so she can't make my tea, so I'm gonna have to go make my own damn tea. So I need about a 10 or 15 minutes from this meeting to that meeting to be able to make my own stupid tea.
Well, I just made the API work for setting up new clients automatically through Messenger. So I used, but I didn't ask you, so I'm really proud of myself. So I was playing around with the JSON payload and figured it out. So it works now and creates accounts. So I go out and bring in customers for Link Wizard. Well, not customers, but like people on board. Let's see how that works in Germany.
Awesome.
So, and thanks for fixing the little bug. Your wife just messaged me that it got fixed.
She's good at that.
Hmm.
That's what we're here for. Fix stuff, build stuff.
And it's really straightforward to set it up, and then it's hands off. It's like just give me your email address, and then there you go.
For sure. That's why I like automation. I don't like that hands-on stuff, very rarely.
And I didn't do it with Zapier. I did it with another tool I'm using, Flexi. It's, I don't know if you've heard the whole story about that thing, but actually software is pretty good. And I set it up with that.
You picked that up from Sunny or something?
Well, I picked it up the first deal from Sunny, but I bought like 2 or 3 accounts, and the other ones I picked from Ariel directly.
What they do when they pick those accounts from Sunny, did they keep those active or delete them or something?
Well, mine wasn't canceled because I was in the first round, and I think that went through properly, but the others had issues. But for me, it's a really good software, and they are really behind it. They are good engineers, and they're super support, and I really like it. So, but it's really, I think it's too high level for the broader public, because you really need to understand relational database stuff and understand how you set up data. But it's perfect for these. They now have a Facebook Messenger integration. So I tried that out with our software tool suite, and can now set up accounts from there.
Cool.
So let's see how many people I can get in there.
Good idea for me.
And the other thing I found is that these ringless for text, was it text and bulk? These ringless, how do you call it? Ringless messages or ringless voicemails. That this is an issue with I don't know, there's some spam regulations that you're not allowed to do that. Is that correct, or is it kind of a?
So the TCPA did. They did rule, and I don't know because I'm not a lawyer, but they did make a ruling that that ringless voicemails do fall under TCPA compliance. So they did make a ruling on that, but again, like I said, I'm not a lawyer any more than I am a marketer, although I do understand marketing and law. There would be virtually from a ringless voicemail perspective, there would really be virtually no way whatsoever to police that and to find that, because the the amount of sheer resources that would have to actually be put into an investigation to figure out if it was an automated thing versus if you yourself just called them and left a voicemail, is a completely different story. So now there is always the other option, and we haven't released ringless voicemail yet. So we were actually working on it, and then I stopped working on it to just do some re-engineering overall to the entire platform so that it would just be quicker and easier to build out that functionality. But we could always build ringless voicemail and ring full voicemail where the phone would ring and then the voicemail would be dropped, because that's a completely different dog than ringless voicemail. All right.
I would say just ring half the time and then put it in voicemail. Then you're good.
For sure, because the TCPA has specifically made a ruling on ringless voicemail where the phone doesn't ring and a voicemail is dropped, which is a completely different story than the phone ringing and a voicemail being dropped. But regardless, either way, like I said, it would be a really hard time for them to actually go in and prove. And they wouldn't do that on a small fish. I mean, they would do that only on a big fish where they could know that it's like that in all government. A government will put in $1 million fine, but who are they going to go after? They're not going to go after somebody who they know can't pay $1 million, or if they charge them $1 million fine, it's going to put them out of business. They're only going to police the people who know, hey, I can fine them $1 million, they can pay, and they can continue to be in business, so I can continue. A government body is never going to go in and issue a fine that's going to put somebody out of business if they're making enough money to pay taxes and they're getting that tax revenue, because it just doesn't fucking make sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense to issue a fine to somebody of $1 million and put them out of business when they're paying, historically $250,000 a year in taxes. And you're going to lose that tax revenue. So they don't do that. The only people that they would actually police and go in and do that to are somebody that they know they have the actual means and mechanism to go in and actually pay that hefty fine. And like I said, it would just be really hard to police, because it'd be really hard to go in and find out, did that person use some automation? Because there is no law, contrary to popular opinion, that, like, people think, okay, cold calling is I mean, that's spam. There's no law that says you can't cold call people and just fucking call people up. All right. You can totally do that. Now, there are laws that say that you can't do it in a specific way, but as the law, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. As the law, it's written in very specific jargon, and it's written in very specific jargon so that smart people who are smart enough to employ lawyers that actually know what the hell all that shit means know how to find the loopholes.
And on top of that, I think if you have a good service you're advertising and you're honest and you really try to help people, I think there's nothing wrong with advertising that if people actually like it. So I mean, there's advertisement and advertisement. So if you actually have a really good service, I would take the risk. But again, as you said, with RoboContact, there are people that are scraping, I don't know, 50,000 leads a day and spamming around, or people that have, I don't know, 500 qualified leads.
Well, people also don't understand that Spam Acts protect consumers, not businesses. So Spam Acts were not put into place by the government to protect businesses. They were put into place to protect consumers, and people also don't understand international law. A United States Spam Act has no bearing. Trust me, they ain't gonna fucking fly to India and pick you up out of India and say, okay, you're violating our U.S. laws. The European Union is not gonna go to the United States and extract somebody for violating a GDPR rule. It's just not possible. Those governments would never allow them to do that. So.
Yeah.
So what else, boys and girls?
What's the number of partners you're looking to get for today?
Well, I don't have a specific number for today, but I have a goal, and I most likely will not meet my goal, to be honest. But I had a goal to bring on 30 new inner circle partners personally, or with your guys' help by the end of February, because it allows us to do a couple new things. One of which is to, whenever our lease runs out, to be able to go in and upgrade our office to an office that's going to be sustainable for our growth for the next 5 years. So for me to look at historically what we've done, and with the partnership being in play and what I think our future growth is going to be, for me to be able to say, hey, for me to get the best deal obviously possible, I got to sign a 5 to 7 year lease to get the best possible deal. All right. So for me to think I'm going to go in and move into an office that's going to be able to actually support us and sustain the growth that I want to have in our company for the next 5 years, then I need between 12,000 to 20,000 square feet worth of office space. All right. So for me to go get that office space in an office building like that is going to be what would be considered a non-standalone building. They're essentially communities, so it's a service building, meaning that there are redundancies in place for, like our building has 2 elevators. That isn't going to work on a 20,000 square foot office, because those types of offices are going to have much more places. So I want to move to a tech park, because being in that tech park allows additional amenities and facilities, like power backups, net connectivity backups, additional bathrooms, additional elevators that are just there for public use, which increases productivity, nicer ambiances like marble floors and stuff, nicer ambiances, common lobby spaces, common garden spaces, which does wonders for employee morale, which boosts productivity. And it also allows, being in one of these tech parks is a prestigious thing. It allows for the easy recruitment of people. You know, whenever people go in and they look and say, okay, hey, let's say I can get a $10,000 a month salary over here, or a $9,000 a month salary over here, they're also going to compare side to side benefits, like what does my equipment look like? You know, where am I actually going to? And obviously, if you're working in a pristine building and people know that building and just assume it's a pristine building versus a building that nobody knows, the general psychology and perception of somebody is just going to think, okay, that is a better company because they're in that better building. So it's just easier to recruit top talent. So that's going to cost me, if I want to go to a 20,000 square foot office, it's going to cost me between $12,000 to $15,000 a month whenever it comes to the rent, and then all the maintenance charges and additional charges, the entire office overhead. And that cost is going to be, so you take that $10,000, $15,000 a month. Now you take the fact that I need a 6-month deposit plus the first month rent to move into these buildings. That's $70,000 just to move from one office to another. So that's one of the reasons I'm wanting to bring in more partners. The other reason is to finance a couple people that I really need to have that are very key players I've talked about before. One is somebody that is a system level architect on the scale of Cisco or IBM. If you think of one of Cisco's top dogs or one of IBM's top dogs whenever it comes to their network infrastructure, because in order to engineer the solution that's actually really needed to facilitate all partners and agency owners for us to actually scale and expand in revenue and be able to go from nobody to $1 billion a year company within 3 or 4 years, the types of systems I need to engineer, I need that person. So I need a couple of those people. So those people on the US side, they cost about $200,000 to $500,000 a year, depending on the level of person. Over here, it costs me about $3,000, maybe $4,000 a month to bring in those people. So relatively cheap, but relatively expensive compared to my other resources. So you think if I want to bring 3 of those resources on, it's going to cost me another $8,000 to $12,000 just to bring in those 3 key people. But that's like I said, that's like hiring VPs in the U.S., like hiring CEOs, those types of people. So I'd like to bring those people on because it would be really beneficial to us over the next year to create infrastructure that makes it really, really easy for people to go in, like partners or agency owners, to go in and white label our services without a lot of actual overhead, so that we can maximize on the profits for that. So ideally, my target is to bring in 30 more Inner Circle members at the $500 level. That's my personal target. If you guys help me out, that's great. If not, then just wait for me to do it by myself. Probably won't get those 30 people today. But so I did essentially, if I don't get them today, then I'll get them on, some of them maybe on the 25th of June, because of January, whatever this month is. So I'm only going to let people sign up to become partners on the last day of every month. So if they don't, and only during the partnership presentation, just to create the buy. Outside of that, they'll have to join the wait list. And if the worst comes to worst, and I can't get my partners, then I'll just find 500 people to give me $100 a month for something else, for my software packages. That should not be the case though, because the way this is supposed to work is all the revenue that we need is supposed to come from the partnership. That's how it's supposed to work.
So anybody we bring on has to be during one of your lives as well?
What's that?
So anybody that we bring on as a partner has to be during one of those lives as well? Or is that just your rule for you?
That is in general. Now, I did give you guys a special link that you can share with people, to bring them on, but I would prefer you not do that publicly. I would prefer you do that in a private scenario, and you not publish all over the place publicly that, oh, here's the link, you can just go in and sign up right now, because it kind of undermines the other stuff. But I did give you guys a link where you can go in and privately share that with people, where they can sign up. If they missed it, they can sign up at any time. But yes, from a public perspective, what I would like the general public to understand is they can only sign up on the last Friday of every month, only during that live presentation. And then you can use your link in private to be like, hey, I'm a tier 5 partner, and since I'm a partner, I can get you in right now if you want to join right now. But then from that perspective, you can easily go in and say, hey, I pulled some strings, I can get you in right now. But you're either going to have to sign up today, or you're going to have to wait until it happens, because I can't pull strings to get you in today and then you not sign up today and have to go pull strings tomorrow. It will allow you to create your own urgency and get people to sign up right then and there.
So having your live stream live on my Facebook page really worked out.
Sure, it could for sure help you. You could still get people into the wait list. You could still get people interested in it. And then, like I said, on the back end, in a private scenario, you can go in and say, hey, I can get you in. I can get you in right now. If you're ready to move right now, I can get you in. Like I said, I would not prefer you. I'm not going to say that you can't, because you can. I'm just going to say that I would not prefer you to do it publicly, because then it does kind of undermine what's happening on the other side. If people see what I'm doing, I'm not going to forbid you from doing it, because to me, it's just my marketing tactic to create urgency and scarcity. But I'm not a marketer, so it's probably not going to work. I don't know. So what else? I've got about 10 more minutes that I can hang out before the before I do this presentation. I'll drop the link to the Zoom to the live presentation inside the Inner Circle group as well. All right, actually, I'm going to dump it into the normal partnership group so that all the non-Inner Circle members can hang out if they want to as well.
John, do you think, it's Fatima, do you think I can get with you? I know you're technically out till the 2nd, but you're in. But like on the after the 2nd, what would be the best way to reach out to you to schedule getting set up and taking off with this?
You got time tomorrow? I'm pretty sure that my wife has everybody coming in to work tomorrow. And that means I have to too.
You know, I would love to. I actually have a visitor who just came in from out of town.
If not yet, Tuesday's fine. Just message me on Facebook.
Okay, she leaves on the 30th. So I can do anytime after the 30th. Actually, the 30th day, because she leaves in the morning. I just wouldn't want to be rude, and I want to focus.
For sure. So definitely, I would say probably Tuesday, or I mean Monday would work for me for sure. I'm not sure about Tuesday, so Monday or Wednesday. I'm not sure if we're having office or not.
Okay.
So Sunday's a no-go. If you tie me up on Sunday, then my wife will fly to your house and murder you.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I'm trying to learn discipline too. Monday will work for me. Do you have a time preference? I know you're like 10 hours, 12 hours.
No, it's 5:12 in the morning.
I know.
Now, so I don't have a clock.
Okay. I can stay up late too, so whatever works best for you. But if it's okay with you, let's shoot for Monday and knock this out. Tell me what I need to do to go pay for the service and then get going and get set up.
Yeah, just message me on Facebook and I'll get you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna take off. It's nice meeting everyone. Yeah, and thanks for spending time with me early on, answering some questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the time when we have these meetings, I try to come a little bit earlier. And again, these meetings are for you guys, and you'll notice that if you don't talk or get any input, a lot of people will just sit here and not say anything and just observe. So it's better if you have questions, you just come to these meetings and you ask them there, because this time is specifically for you guys. Usually they'll last a lot longer because I don't have something scheduled right after. Most of the time I don't get out of here till like 9 a.m. in the morning because we have like 6-hour Inner Circle meetings because people want to keep talking about stuff. And this is part of what's included in your membership is this time, and it's kind of however long you need it until you guys get sick of it. And if you stay forever, then I just start cussing a lot, like real. I gotta go, John. I'm like, I just keep getting more offensive and more offensive until people are like, I can't take it anymore.
You pull the unwelcome sign out, huh?
I use my real charm.
I love it. Well, give my regards to your wife, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Bye-bye.
So are you guys good? I've got 15 minutes before I got to start this other meeting. I got to go make some tea. If you guys need anything, I can stay on for a few minutes. Not.
I do have a question.
Yes.
But it's not related to actually Tier 5. It's another group that we're in. I can't figure out the APIs to get the thing automated to set up. You're in the same group. Is there any way that you could help me? I know probably I only need moments.
Is it
not? Yeah. With Builderall, the setup is a lot different, and I'm having a heck of a time figuring out. I get that she gave us the webhooks, but I don't know the field names to be able to connect the two fields to make sure that it goes into the database right.
Yeah, I even offered to give her one of my devs for free to build the webhooks.
Are you having the same issue? Because I'm feeling mighty dumb. I've explained to her like several times exactly what I need. And I cannot figure out what to do to be able to get the data into their database to set up a new account.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's look at it real quick, Shelly.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I know that if I get just the one little piece, I think I've got it. And see, if you use that, that's a webhook. You need to map the data. And so you need to know what the field names are.
They're right here.
Oh, okay. It's a get.
They're right here. So they're right here. Let me try to do this real quick. So
Okay.
get it done before this is.
Wait, before you, let me record, okay?
No.
Oh, wait, you're recording. I can't record. I'm sorry. No. Okay. I'll remember.
I'm glad that you asked me to do this because I've been needing to do it as well for the, actually, let's just do that and see if it works. Funnels, ClickFunnels. I've been needing to do it for the, let's do it on this $1 a day software access. So it's just ClickFunnels. You would know what your Zapier, what your trigger is here, Shelly?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just going to use a webhook. This one's just a little bit different than ours. You're going to use a GET request and a POST request. And then here you're going to grab in this guy. You're going to stick that guy in there. And
got it.
Here in this email, you're going to remove just between the equal sign and the and sign. And then you're going to pop in this guy.
Oh my God, like so easy.
And then you're going to remove from here. And then it looks like you're just going to pop in a, I don't understand the difference between a 0 for normal user, 1 active user.
I think 0 is the free user and 1 is the pro user.
I don't think so. I mean, we can ask her real quick. And I'm pretty sure you just put in that. That says invalid data. So
well, it did say on your thing what it says.
Oh,
don't change the identifier. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that the identifier that identifies that you're the one that's sending in that?
Okay. So do this. Leave that identifier in there. And then you'll need to put in probably an and type equals 1, most likely, because there is no type here. Male, there's identifier, but there is no type. So let's look and see if that works. And type equals 1. Okay.
So I need an identifier then, because that would probably identify you as the one sending that in.
Well, I would say your identifier is going to be right here. Shelly Turner.
I'm all the way at the bottom. I don't have an identifier.
Balls. So yeah, you'll need to get an identifier from her. I would try to work out I would just ask her for an identifier, and that should then work. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so that guy's authenticated and can use it. So.
Okay, great. That helps me tons, because I tried it every kind of way that I could possibly try to do it, as a get, as a post, as a I found other fields, and I actually did. There's a form. I did a source code. I looked at the source code and looked at the form HTML and saw all the different fields that they had for the form HTML, and even tried all that, and I just could not get anything to work.
That looked like it worked.
The next issue is their password. Do they get a standard password?
I don't think they need any password, but if they do.
Oh, that's right. They don't. You're right. They don't. I forgot.
If they do, they just get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. I tried to help Kim and build their shit because it's really stupid. Like I could almost imagine that if I go in there, it's not going to show. It's not going to show that user. I'm not sure if it's going to show that user.
Oh, you got one. You got one on there.
I'm not sure if there's any dashboard. Yeah, he's in there and he's a pro user. So.
Yeah, so I think that's what it is. Is a 1 is the pro user and 0 is the normal user, the free user. That's what I assume.
Cool. Well, I've got 8 minutes, so I got to go make myself some tea and then start this live so I can share it on my Facebook profile so that all my partners that wanted to share it out can share it out as well. So if you guys need any other help or support, just either send me a message or post something in the group. All right.
Okay. Thank you, John. I truly appreciate you helping me with the group convert.
Yeah, my pleasure. If you guys want to come to the event for the partnership, you're more than welcome to do that. I put the group right here. I put the link right here in the actual Tier 5 partnership. If you guys want to come, you don't have to. If you want to, you can. No big deal.
And you're gonna go live on your profile?
I am going to go live on my profile, and then you guys can share that out and put your own links to the partnership opportunity, because I'm going to go make it where people can actually purchase it as well. So you can share your affiliate link and share my live if you want to.
See you then.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys later.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. See ya. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.